I'm going to go over the core class reset. This is an exercise I do almost at the beginning of every core class. It's a little nuanced, and so if you just are jumping in, it might be a little confusing. So I wanted to go over it so you've got all the details and find out why does she always do this. So I start us on the floor in this class because I want to take out any other kind of stimulation for your body. Meaning, to get it aligned here, I have gravity working in a great way with my body, and I have a lot of feedback from the floor. If I try and do some of the alignment things sitting up, especially like getting the ribs on the floor and those kinds of things, you don't have any point of reference here. So that's why and plus your body is doing things we don't think about, like having to balance, and then there's other distraction or influence that it's having on it. When I take us down, we remove a lot of that and we give ourselves a nice place of feedback so we can make sure that we're engaging in the right way, and then we can transfer all that stuff from the floor to seated to standing, etc. Okay, so on the reset, we start with the ankles together, the feet together, and the knees together. And just take a look. We usually put our hands, pinky fingers on the hip bones and thumbs on the bottom of your floating ribs. So I'm going to poke them up. So on here, on this exercise, and many of them in the core class, and like when you get into planks and mountain climbers, you want to be pulling those ribs down, okay? And they're going to probably want to poke up. That's why we keep the thumbs there, to pull them down. Now just watch for a second right here at the back of my low back. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to push with my feet away from the front of the room. And did you see that go down? I'm going to relax it. I'm just going to push with my feet. Push with my feet. I didn't squeeze my butt aggressively. I'm just going to start with a push of my feet, and then I do deepen my belly just a little bit and to get the low back on the floor. Part one. Part two is you compress the front of the ribs. So I usually say breath one, low back. Breath two, we compress the ribs a little. So pull down on those bottom ribs and get the back of the ribs flat on the floor. So when we come into core classes or using your abs, a lot of times folks come in with sucking my abs in. This has no functional, Kirk's telling me to move my shirt so that you can see, sucking them up. So your ribs come up and this sucks up, but it doesn't have any functional repercussion. It's not going to help you in any way. You're maybe going to be able to get your jeans snapped that way, but it's not going to help you do movement, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not so much about sucking your abs up as it is pushing, one, two, compressing your ribs down. And when you do that, this area is going to start to firm up. So I'm still pushing with my feet, and the idea is that pressure with the feet helps ground the low back to the middle back, and then the last exhale is the upper back. So getting those shoulders on the floor, pulling your lats down a little, and what tends to happen is as you get the shoulders down, the ribs pop up. When you get the ribs down, the shoulders roll forward. That pattern might take you a little while, but if you just keep on working at it, it's eventually going to lay you out. And this is great alignment for almost everything that you do as far as getting those ribs, and sometimes we don't have the tailbone tuck so much. From there, we'll pull down on the ribs, curl the chin into the throat, knees still stay together, they're going to want to probably splay, and elbows raise up. Now, we've anchored our whole abdominal region. Our adductors, our inner thighs are engaged. You might feel your hamstrings and the bottom of the glutes engaged there. So we're just prepping all of our musculature for a solid alignment as we come into the class, because we're going to use all of this. Then we would lower, head down, elbows down, relax, roll to the tailbone, big arch, and then exhale, push with the feet, knees zip together, low spine into the mat. Breathe in. Exhale, middle back, compress the ribs. You take another breath in. The last exhale, you ground the upper back. You keep it all as you curl the chin in. Elbows lift up. You maintain it. You can pull those ribs down a little more right here, pulling them down. Rocking the back muscles into the floor is a nice thing to do there. Then you release. Lower the head, lower the elbows, relax the inner thighs, roll to the tailbone, and then we would do it. I usually do it 3 times. All right? So that is the reset. That compression of the ribs, like I said, it's going to come back as soon as you start to come around into like a plank position, a mountain climber. When we stand up to do a balancing position, you're going to need those ribs to be in and not splaying out. So it's just starting to find those, train those muscles in those connections in a little easier way. And then we keep building on them throughout the class. But this is a great one just to find that nice. I do it a lot of times if I feel wonked out from sitting at my desk during the day. It just really opens the collarbones, gets the back nice and long and supported, and it realigns you and boosts your energy a little bit. All right, that's the hot tip. Reset for the core class. Have a good one.